Hey, everybody, it's Darren Burt, HQ Live. Thanks for joining us today. It's got another good show for you. All the way from Minnesota, Jordan Horst. And you probably don't recognize that name, but what you probably know is Waldo's Wonders. How are you doing, Jordan?
Great. It's a beautiful day here in Minnesota.
Yeah, what have you been doing? I heard you were doing something with chickens today.
Today was kind of a crazy day. I had to get new power hooked up to the pig barn over there so I can raise as many chickens as I want. To get a whole new amperage set, everything from the pole all the way over there. So I did underground wire all day. It took pretty much 9 hours, but she's done and we got power back on.
So before everybody thinks that you're a pig farmer or a chicken farmer, which you are, but tell us about Waldo's Wonders. I got a feeling that has nothing to do with farm animals.
It does not. So I came on the glass in about 2006, and Waldo'S is kind of my nickname at the time. So I started with that and came up with the Wonders part of just traveling around and selling the art wares. You know, I wanted to call it something. It wasn't just glass pipes; it was art. So I came up with the name Waldo's Wonders, and the company was actually founded in 2016 after I had split up and left Boston from Greenside Up Gallery.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little about what it is. What is it? Is it a distributorship, a wholesaler, or are you a glass agent?
I could be called multiple things. I definitely am a distributor. I definitely like to represent artists in a way that I would like to be a glass broker type of thing, where I set up shows for like Jerry Kelly and things. So I definitely kind of am all over the place, doing trade shows, doing live gallery setups. You know, we always do one at Witch Doctor and Peace of Mind. I kind of like to dabble in a little bit of different things. I like to look classy and wear a suit. So
yeah, we can see that. So you're dealing with independent glass artists, right?
Yes. I do actually deal with a couple of companies that crank out for me, but most of them are just individual artists that are in garages or basements or whatever they have it. So
how do you find these guys? Are you out there knocking on doors, knocking on garage doors?
I get hit up a lot on Instagram and Facebook, just from different artists. Contact me, seeing what I need or what's available. You know, what price point I would want it at. Trade shows, I get hit up all the time, and also just from hanging out at a random bar and Pittsfield, Massachusetts, for say, and the glassblower's there or something, and we get connected. We have a great night, and I want to represent him just because he is who he is.
Yeah. So what do you look for in the glass that you want to represent, or is it just glass, or does it also take into account the artist that you want to represent?
There are definitely some artists that I would love to represent, just in a production standpoint. Let's just say for instance, Salt. If he wanted to create like a production line for me, I would love to represent him as per se. Mike Fro was a huge one. When he asked me, I was fucking stoked about him. It just all depends. A lot of artists hit me up and I look for the price points, because I look at a piece right away and I tell the retail value of it. I don't even look at the wholesale price. I look at the retail shop, because when I owned a shop, it's all about end consumer and what they're going to pay for the piece. So when I look at a piece, I look at it, hey, what's my buddy going to pay for that? And I turn around and half of that's wholesale. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Are you representing everything from just the basic spoon pipes all the way up to the big headies?
I have $5 pieces all the way up to 400 is kind of where I like to stop it, unless it's at a trade show. I don't like to carry headies on the road. I carry the Mike Frobubs, the Jerry Kellys, some Tammy headies, dynamic glass. But there's not too many heady over 400 wholesale pieces that I have.
Mm-hmm. Tell us, You represent about how many? You told me earlier about 30 people,
Yeah,
30 artists.
30. It's hard for me to keep track because, you know, one month this guy's on, the next month I have 4 people on, the next month I don't have any guys. So it's hard to tell. And with a couple places that have 5 glass blowers in them that are all making product for me, you know, I kind of single that out and say that's one place because I get one box from them. So
Sure. So tell us how you work with shops. Tell us how you work with the retailers.
Most of the shops I know, I've been selling glass to since 2007, 8. I've been on the road, and most of them I ran into at fish shows. A lot of them on lot is where I've gained really good friendships with them. But a lot of the shops are just recommended to me. I hit them up on Instagram, and I'll try to figure out a time and a place I can meet. Some of them give me their number. I'll call them, text them. I do not bug them. I'm straight to the point. This is when I'm going to meet. This is when I'm going to be in town. I pretty much have days and times figured out for up to 3 to 4 months ahead of advance.
Nice. So what's the advantage of a shop contacting you, going through you, as opposed to contacting, what's kind of the answer, as opposed to contacting 30 glass blowers?
I mean, that's right there. I mean,
Yeah.
they contact me, they get the same price. And the thing about it is I can give discounts sometimes. If the people want to deal with 30 artists and spend 10 grand within those 30 artists, that's fine. If they want to come to me and spend 10 grand, I'm likely to give them a discount, and they're going to get everything wrapped up in one box, organized with a nice invoice, everything sent through me. There's no one else that works for me. There's no one else in my company. It's just me.
Nice. So before we go too much farther, I want to say hello to everybody out there that's watching. And if you have any questions for Jordan, just type them in the comment section and we will bring them in. Here's a couple right now. Matthew Charles.
My Alaska
This is somebody you obviously know.
Yeah, he's from Alaska. He's the one I go fishing with all the time up there.
Oh, nice. I better keep that. I'm going to have to friend that.
He's a good dude to know.
And Terry Gray. Terry, do we know you? Okay. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, Terry. If you have any questions, type them in. We'll bring them up. And here's someone else. Laura Horst.
That's my girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
Terry owns. He's a part owner of Urban Legends and Common Sense over there in Laverne, Minnesota, and in South Dakota, Sioux Falls.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Yep. And your girlfriend's probably in another room there, isn't she?
No, she's not. She's in Lincoln, Nebraska. Sorry, babe. This is Scotch.
That is a big picture of Scotch. So let's talk a little bit about the glass scene. How have you seen it change since you've been in it?
I mean, it's changed so much just with trade shows and how accessible it is now to get glass. There was a lot of states that I had to actually be careful to drive through back in the day when I started selling glass, because they did not even, like, a lot of the states you couldn't ship to. You only had to drive to. That was the only way to get to them. Like, Iowa didn't allow you to get glass shipped to it. You had to drive through it. But if you drove through it, it was sketchy as fuck. Like, it was so, I mean, nowadays there's shops popping up everywhere. Everyone can order glass online. Everyone's on their phones all day. If you got a website, which I do, you can log in and check all my available inventory. I mean, there's definitely a lot of accessibility factors now that came into play.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen what have you seen with creativity? And everywhere you turn, there's a glass blower these days.
I mean, it definitely has changed a lot in the art factor of how pieces can be and how expensive they are now and how many hours someone actually puts into a piece. Back in the day, if they put 20 hours into it, that was a lot of hours. Now people are putting 100, 200 hours in, and they're feeling comfortable with the piece. It's just grown so much that it's crazy to see coming back from just spoon pipes were insane, and the different variations they could make, the divots they could put in, it was crazy. So,
yeah. Hey, we got another question here. Deborah Jellyfish wants to know, what's your COVID plan? How's COVID affecting Waldo Wonders?
For me, it definitely was pretty rough for the first month. I was on the road pretty much when it happened. We did the Champs trade show there at the end of February, beginning of March. And after that, I had about 2.5 weeks to actually drive home before I was home to even ship orders from Las Vegas or Champs trade show. So I had, over $100,000 in orders that I had to get out before the COVID actually happened or shut down shops. And by the time I got home, everything was shut down. So I've just been kind of waiting for things to open up. All the boxes and orders, they're all ready to go. I'm just waiting and being patient for the shops. I don't want to hit any shops up at this time, because a lot of shops are shut down. A lot of shops are taking this time to do family, grow vegetables, do cool things that they should be doing all the time. It's pretty sweet to see kind of what the COVID has done in the farming industry per se, for people growing their own vegetables, getting chickens, that type of thing. It's definitely been pretty interesting.
Yeah, so we're talking about COVID. When shops open back up, do you have any advice for them on how to promote the glass, or just to let everybody know, hey, we're here?
Yeah, you just got to let everyone know that we're back open. It's definitely tough, but when the states do open up, I guarantee everyone's going to be knowing, and everyone's going to be wanting to get out there. So you have to get open, no matter if it's curbside, no matter what you have to do, even if it's call the shop, Instagram, send pictures, just be in the shop, at least trying to crush it. I know that there, some people really care about the COVID, and some are older people that they shouldn't be working the shop. That's totally fine. Take precautions, but you can at least be there on Instagram showing pictures of pipes for people to deliver, wrap it up, take a credit card number. You guys can make this happen. There's ways to get around this.
And right now is a good time to be promoting those artists and getting that social media presence out there.
That's where it's at. We have time on our hands right now. You can go to your shop and spend one day taking nice pictures of every piece, and going home and spending time with the family, being home and posting 3 pictures a day. It's not very hard. You sit down for 5 minutes, you post a picture, you go back to your family time, doing your garden, doing whatever. There's time right now to be building a website, painting your whole shop, upgrading it. You should be doing something to your shop right now. If you always wanted something, get it done. There's time right now. Right now is the time. Your shop's closed down. If you need to do inventory, if you need to do end of the year shit that you didn't do, right now is the time.
Yeah. How do you suggest to shops to really promote, give the props to the local and independent artists?
Okay, so this is a very tough situation and subject, just because when I own the shop, it's very hard sometimes to support local glassblowers, because those guys are the ones that are selling to your local friends. If they're selling to them, you need to know what the price they're selling it to. If they're selling it to that price, you need to offer them half of that. Sorry, but if a glassblower sells a local spoon for $30 and he's trying to charge you $20, that just don't work. So you have to be stern with your local glassblowers, because those are the ones that are selling the pipes locally at the bars, all that stuff. Support them, buy all their stuff, get it the right price, and just try to charge the same they are if they're selling local. If not, I would definitely support every local artist you have. If they're not selling on Etsy, if they're not selling local, they're not selling to bars, they're not doing local events, then I would get in there. It's just very tough, because I've seen so many glassblowers burn bridges with me just from owning the shop in Boston, Providence, that it's just tough.
Let's flip that question over to the glassblowers. How can they promote themselves and be more of a support to their local shops?
Easy. Go sell glass to your local shop. Get in with them, talk to them, hang out with them. Be like, hey, I'll go to this show, get a free ticket to a show, and hand out their flyers for the shop. You know how many times I'm in a town, let's say Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm in there for the night. I'm staying there. I just hit a shop. I have a next shop the next day is in wherever, and I got to go the next day, but I'm going to stay overnight. I grab flyers from that shop, and I'll go to every local bar that night, and I will spread them around. Why not? There's no reason. You're going to the bar. You can leave it. You can talk to someone, be like, hey, I just dropped off a bunch of cool shit at this place. You should go check it out. It's no sweat off your back. You bought a couple beers. You got a free show ticket sometimes. A lot of those local shops have tickets to all the venues.
What about being exclusive? Like if I'm an artist, I'm exclusive to Joe's smoke shop, and I don't sell online. I just sell to them. Is that a legitimate way to go about it?
I definitely, if I'm in a town of, let's say a shop there's 4 different shops in town. Whichever one I contact and gets back to me, that's the one I deal with from here on out.
From your business, from Waldo's Wonders.
Yeah, I don't like to go to all the shops in town. There's one shop that will support you, and they should be able to pretty good support you. And whatever you don't get from them a month, you need to find elsewhere. Go to a different city. There's so many different cities out there. It's so easy to find shops right now. I mean, it's crazy. This was one of the biggest talks I had at Glass Vegas with all the artists was branch out. It is so easy to get out there. And the wholesale money is really nice. You try to deal with retail. This is why I'm not in retail anymore. The Instagram, the social media, it drove me berserk. I could not deal with it. One kid wanted to buy a pipe for $20, but he wanted 40 different pictures. I'm like, come on, kid. Here's a pipe. Yeah. This is the one. I just couldn't deal with it no more. It was too tough for me. I give praise to all those shops out there doing that right now because it is fucking not fun. Thank you.
So I want to throw a question up here. Monty wants to know, how did you become such a boss? I mean, and that fits with what you were saying. How did you achieve the level that you're at and the trust that you have with from shops? Shops
like him. He's one of the reasons why I became a boss. You know what I mean? He was one of the first shops to ever buy glass from me. He's one of the ones that owns the shop in Sioux Falls there. And it's shops like him is the only reason I've been able to step my game up. You know, they wanted this, they want that. The more things that I find out that they want, I can bring to them. I can find the artist. I can do their dirty work so they can get to business.
Nice. Where do you see the glass scene going? I mean, is it?
It's just been raising from here. I mean, you definitely have to be careful. Just with the people that are selling online, just with all the Instagram shit. But I mean, if artists stick to their guns and actually find good distributors or friends that want to drive their glass around the United States, sit home and crank out. That's what you guys are really good at. And I get some of you guys are multi-versed and love to do your own paperwork and love to call your own shops and love to do all that stuff. And that's awesome if it works. But the people that it's not working for, sit home and crank out glass. Your glass will sell. You will find an outlet, but you got to keep cranking out. I mean, during the COVID right now, every glass blower should be so stocked up right now that they have been cranking so hard just for when this lifts, they can sell all their glass and sit back and relax. Right now, crank out.
Yeah. Do you see a big rush coming?
It's already been starting. This last week has been insane for me, and a lot of the shops are just starting to open up. I mean, any shop that had any sort of online business, they've been doing really well. You know, like the shops that have been doing curbside, a lot of shops that are just doing online sales. They have websites. They've been incredible right now. I mean, I've been sending as soon as that $1,200 stimulus check came through, I got like 35 orders from shops that day. Nice. It was crazy.
Nice. What, there's a lot of ways to consume these days. Do you think glass will always be a staple for smoke shops?
Yes. I mean, there's no other way to give that artistry. Like, there's no other. I don't think. I mean, what else? There's silicone. There's the all the dab pens and shit. But all the pen sales have been going down crazy. As soon as that huge scare came out that everyone was dying from the vape pens, I see sales just drop. You know, glass came back. Everyone wants a bubbler, a push bubbler. They want slides for their water pipes. I mean, if flour just came back huge when everything kind of scared with the oil and all that, I mean, it's just so much easier. Flour always has been the go-to. I mean, I smoke push pubs all day.
What about glass collectors? Do you see that scene opening up?
I mean, it's definitely been good, and there's only more states that are going to legalize. You know, right now it's only a couple states. So I see there's going to be a lot more states that are going to be opening up and huge collectors coming out of those states. So, I mean, I feel like that's definitely going to be an amazing thing once a lot of more states legalize.
And it doesn't have to be, hey, I collect the $5,000 heady piece. I mean, there's a lot of creative pieces in the lower dollar.
That's where I stick. That's where I stick for the $800 retail. I think that every end consumer can afford $800 retail. Not every end consumer, but the one that really wants to collect, she can afford that. I think $800 is okay anywhere less than a stack, and that's where I pretty much cut the glass blowers at, and that's where I stick around. You know, like I was saying earlier, Mike Fro, Jerry Kelly, I chose their $300 to $400 selections, and that's what I'm rolling with because that's what's being able to sell in the shop at the end of the day every day.
Yeah. Do you deal with pendants and marbles and things like that as well?
I don't really do pendants and marbles anymore. I did when I was on the festival scene for a long time, but I don't know more. I mean, some glass blowers will make me 20 pendants here, 20 pendants there, and I sell them. But it's got to be a collection of them, and they got to be like a special edition type thing. You know, I do have Christina Cody seashell pendant pipes and ice cream pendant pipes. They're just like a smaller version of her regular one. So that is one pendant that I do carry.
So I want to throw this question up. I don't know if this guy is being sarcastic. Ray
Chillums are heady.
Chillums collecting a good hobby.
Are heady, dude. I've got a bunch of chillums. I mean, that's something that everyone can collect. I have a bunch of chillums that I bought for around $200 that are just amazing. You know, Mr. Gray and Danny Camp. I have an old Zollberg. I've got a bunch of salt chillums. I've got some E-Raw salt. I've got a lot of chillums. I think it's a good hobby there, Ray.
Yeah, so you don't have to have $1 million to get into glass collecting.
No, not at all. There's so many different things. I mean, a lot of people collect pendants. A lot of people collect marbles. I mean, there's some sweet marbles out there for $150, $200.
Even milli slices.
Milli slices. That's been a huge thing, I think, since like 2013. It just started coming on really hard, and now that the millis are super collectible. You know, Jerry does a bunch of milli slices, and he'll put so many into his pieces and only cut up 20 for sale. You know, and I think that's something awesome that if someone has that chillum or a spoon or a Sherlock or your tube, they can buy that slice from Jerry and have a piece from him. So
and that's going back to the shops and why they should really support independent artists, because that helps to promote their shop if they have those pieces.
Jerry sells milli chips at wholesale, and they go with the pieces. I mean, there's just so many things, and it's true. I mean, if you hit up artists, they will sell you the wholesale price on the milli chips, and guaranteed they're not going to sell all the time, but it's something A, to have in the shop to sell. B, if you have any milli work, you can show them the chip and where it came from. That's how I sold the milli chips all the time in Providence. If I had a piece from, Vince P, rest in peace. If I had a piece from him, I could show him show a milli chunk and be like, he put these in the piece, and explain the whole process to people. And then all of a sudden the chillum sold. You know, they wanted that aspect of how it happened, but it's hard to do anything unless you have a milli chip in stock, you know, just to explain to people.
Well, not even just with millies, but with anything.
Yep. I mean, even color rod, even a piece of clear that you can say that they fumed. I mean, just anything,
Right.
any kind of rod, any kind of color. It's something that'll strike a little bit of conversation and explain to people,
Right, because there's a lot of people that don't know what goes into glass blowing or what.
Knowledge is key. If you
Yep.
can help your managers, your employees learn everything about glass, even give them a glass blowing lesson for Christmas. Do something cool for your employees like that. They absolutely will love you and learn more about glass to sell your glass.
Okay, nice. I'm going to put Ray, one more question. I'm going to put one more question up here from Ray. You can see that, can't you?
That goes back to a little story in Madison, Wisconsin at Glass Roots. We rented out the effing house, and there was about, I would say, 30 to 40 people that showed up, and everyone was buying each other glass boots. And in Madison, Wisconsin, let me tell you, the glass boots were like $8 for a whole boot. It was crazy. Everyone was buying everyone boots. Every table was hammered by the end of the night. It was hilarious.
And how many boots did you have?
Personally, I don't even know. I don't even think I can tell you the truth on that one.
Hey, I want you to show everybody that pendant that you have that you're wearing right now. That thing is sweet.
Yeah, it's a grateful cheese and Yoshikana nori.
There you go. Right there. Was there a story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, actually the pendant, the glass piece, Yoshikana nori piece came from BKA back in the day. He ordered a little wire wrap to my buddy from Grateful Cheese, and so he acquired two of these caps. I have one that's a matching belt buckle. And he acquired it, so I told him I would buy them, and he put a gold W in here. So this part right here is all gold W. That's a gold right there. It's kind of hard to see the W, but
yeah, I can see that. It's nice.
There, right there, and then there's black diamonds in there. It's kind of
nice.
my piece when I got into the glass industry and had made a little bit of money selling glass. This is my first piece that I bought that I actually spent money on.
Very cool. So let's talk just a little bit. What words of advice do you have for everybody before we send them on their way?
About what? Life?
That's a good question these days.
There's a lot of things there. I could say one thing that I've learned. Buy a property. Get chickens. Grow some vegetables. It has been such a blessing to go out every morning to deal with the chickens and to pick weeds and to do that for an hour and a half in the mornings. It's my Zen time. And then I go into the studio and I work. It's something about going out and watching those chickens flop around and fight each other, and it's just fun. I mean, the butchering process is not fun, but you can pay someone to come do that.
Right.
And in the glass industry, right now, it is crush time. Anyone right now that's a glass blower should be absolutely just stacking the glass up. Just trying to get everything used up in the studio. You should be fixing all your torches. You should be cleaning your equipment. You should be cleaning your studio. You should be getting ready for the next 5 years of your life. This right now was a break. It was a peaceful break. Hopefully everyone has glass crushed out. Hopefully the shops have been doing things, cleaning the shop, reorganizing, doing end of the year inventory. There's so many things, updating your computer systems, getting a better credit card app. You have time right now to sit on the phone to call people that want to take your money, get better deals. Yeah. There's no reason not to be calling people. Figure out which distributor is going to give you the best price. Call 20 of them in one day. It doesn't matter. You have time right now. Take it and use it. Crush time.
I think this is a good tip right here from Matthew Charles. Be self-sufficient, whether that be at your farm or in your business.
I mean, everything. there's right now is the time to figure out what you've been slacking on, to figure out what you can clean up. I mean, you have time right now. Yeah, the quarantine sucks, but there's no reason to be sitting on Instagram and Facebook for 4 hours a day. Get outside, do something. It's nice outside. There's so many things that you can do. I grew a garden in a 4-foot by 4-foot area every year when I lived in Providence, Rhode Island, in the middle of the city. And I made 40 jars of salsa every year. Everyone can do this. Like, it's not that hard.
Speaking of Rhode Island, here's a guy from Cape Cod.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shout out.
Yep.
And anybody else have any questions for Jordan before we let you guys go? And you want to talk about his beard? Any beard growing tips?
I actually cut it recently, so it's a little short right now.
Oh, yeah, because I remember he was a little bit longer when I saw you at Champ.
It was down about here at the trade show time, and I came home, and during quarantine, as the first thing I got done, I came home and cut my hair and trimmed the beard out for the summer.
Nice. All right, well, let's tell people where they can find you. And it's this is the website, waldoswonders.co. Right? Without the M.
Yep, no M. I do not own that. My ex-business partner does.
Nice. So is that a website? Is that a portal?
It used to go to their retail website, but recently it all got shut down finally, and now it's just I'm in the process of trying to get the .com, and I also have the .net owned actually. So
where's the best place for shops and artists to hook up with you at?
I would say Instagram. I'm pretty much on that daily. That's the best way normally to contact.
And what's your Instagram handle?
Just Waldo's Wonders.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Yep, and
people should be able to remember that.
Yeah, be on the lookout because I am about to hire a couple drivers and get some more things going on. So I will be opening up a new one called The Waldo's.
The Waldo'S. All right. Well, see, we like to know this kind of stuff. That's how we find out. All right, man. Thanks a lot. I'll let you get back to the chickens, okay?
Hey, thanks, bud. It was good talking to you. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up later this week.